at some point.
Welcome to practice today. Ethan Greenberg and Eric Allen here live from the Atlantic Health Jets Training Center. Again, this is practice today presented by SiriusXM. The Jets will take the field Monday night in the Motor City. It's been 8.5 months or just short of since the Jets have played a regular season game, but that changes when Sam Darnold makes his NFL debut. Oh, by the way, he's the youngest quarterback to make an opening day debut since the AFL-NFL merger.
Yeah, it's something else. So you really think about how far the Jets have come at the quarterback position since January. Mike McCagnon re-signs Josh McCown. Then he added Teddy Bridgewater to the mix. A couple days later, he strikes on St. Patrick's Day with a trade with the Indianapolis Colts, sending 3 second-round picks to Indianapolis. In return, he moves up 3 spots in the first round to get that 3rd overall selection. And Greens, throughout the spring, we heard the talk about Darnold. He was probably going to be the number 1 overall selection of the Cleveland Browns. Well, the Browns went to Baker Mayfield. Then the Giants came back, and they go to Saquon Barkley. And there the Jets are. They take Sam Darnold with the number 3 overall selection. The guy impressed throughout the spring. Then in the summer, complete 64% of his passes, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. And he showed all the intangibles that you would want in a young quarterback. And then Todd Bowles, he named him the starter on Labor Day. It's something else. If you really think how far this Jets franchise has come in terms of the quarterback position since January 1.
And make no mistake about it, Sam Darnold earned this starting spot. It was not handed to him by any stretch of the imagination. Coach Bowles said it. Offensive coordinator Jeremy Bates has stated repeatedly that Darnold, since he came into this building in rookie minicamp, has dove into the playbook head first. He's not made the same mistakes multiple times. He's continued to move forward. So as we move forward now, we're turning the page from the preseason to the regular season. What are you expecting out of Darnold?
Well, we're going to have to see on Monday Night Football, right, against the Detroit Lions, because we've only seen him out here on the practice field and out there in the preseason. The Jets aren't going to show all their good stuff in the preseason, and they're facing vanilla schemes. With that being said, Greens, the guy has owned the playbook. He's been tremendous with his feet. I think that's what separates Sam Darnold above anything else. He's got that even-keel personality that you like that's going to play well in New York. He's an intelligent guy. He has owned that playbook. But in terms of being instinctive, that's the number 1 quality you have to be an elite quarterback in the National Football League. And this guy has it at 21 years of age. He's got a great feel in the pocket, and he's got good vision. He always seems to find that open receiver. So we'll have to see what happens with Sam Darnold. The one thing that he won't do on Monday night, he's not going to be intimidated by the stage, Greens, because Jeremy Bates and Todd Bowles have said this throughout the spring, throughout the summer. This guy gets better when the lights are brighter. They're going to shine bright Monday night in Motown.
The other thing is that Sam Darnold, throughout his time here, even at USC, you've heard this, is that he has a very calm presence about himself. He doesn't get lost in the moment, even though a rookie could very easily get lost. Monday Night Football, your NFL debut, you're 21 years old. There's so many aspects that you could get lost in, but you talked about Sam Darnold's game, and something that I was very impressed with throughout his time here since April is his ability to be accurate on the run, not only to his right, but to his left as well. That's something that Lions head coach Matt Patricia talked about in his press conference earlier this week. Throughout preseason, throughout training camp, you've seen it. Darnold will roll out to his right, throw a dart, roll out to his left, square his shoulders up. One play that comes to mind is against the Falcons in the preseason opener. He hit Andre Roberts for a short completion. How beneficial will that be for Darnold as a rookie, and how will that impact this offense moving forward into the regular season?
Well, it's big because I'm thinking about Jeremy Bates in this West Coast system and how the Jets are going to attack people. You're going to see a lot of design rolls, a lot of boots, and he is an accurate thrower on the run, like you mentioned. He can move to his right, he can move to his left, and he can escape from trouble. He has a good feel in that pocket when the pressure is coming. You're talking about specific plays. How about his first touchdown pass against the Atlanta Falcons in the preseason? He felt the four-man rush, stepped up in the pocket, and did not go over the line of scrimmage. He throws a touchdown pass. Then we saw his legs later in the preseason allow him to convert on a first down. 3rd and 13, he picks up 14 yards. Again, feeling that pocket collapse, but having the presence of mind of finding the sticks and getting there. Other things that he did, he showed more of a mastery of the playbook as we continue throughout the preseason. Against the Giants in that third preseason contest, he came to the line of scrimmage. He saw the middle linebackers coming up and mugging the inside. He checked out of the play, and he found Neil Sterling for a first down conversion. So you saw growth from him throughout the preseason. There are going to be ups and downs, no doubt about it. He's just starting his career. Somebody asked me about that on Twitter today. They said, oh, you guys just continue to talk positively about Darnold. Well, what he's doing right now is awfully impressive because there were 5 quarterbacks taken in the first round of the 2018 NFL Draft. There is one starting, Sam Darnold, for the New York Jets Monday night. And the reason why he's starting, Todd Bowles is going to tell you.
Well, 4 days ago, he was a named starter. It seems like it was forever ago, but earlier this week, head coach Todd Bowles talked about his decision as to name Sam Darnold starting quarterback.
Sam will be starting Monday night. Well, it was close, obviously. Sam had a good preseason. We weren't holding him back, but we weren't rushing him at the same time. He'll still have some things to learn, but his poise in the pocket and the way he grasped the offense coming in right away, and the guys gathered around him and absorbed him coming in playing football, it gives us a very good chance to win.
Just because I get named the starter doesn't mean that we won the game Monday night. You know, it's awesome, and I'm really happy to be the starting quarterback, but I also know that I got to go out there and do my job. You know, I'll be very confident. I'll be very confident in my teammates, and, you know, I think, you know, for how much we've been practicing together and how much time we've spent off the field, I think we have some really good chemistry in this locker room, and I think we're ready to go showcase that Monday night.
Someone that Sam Darnold will obviously have to game plan for, that's Matt Patricia, the Lions head coach. He was in New England for a number of years, their defensive coordinator. He got the head coaching gig this week, or this season, excuse me. Not this week. That'd be a little late. His first gig is this week. His first game.
The Jets are awfully familiar with Matt Patricia. This guy comes from New England, the defensive coordinator there from 2012 to 2017. My matchup to watch, Greens, in fact, is Matt Patricia going head-to-head with Jets offensive coordinator Jeremy Bates. Todd Bowles in the offseason promotes Bates to offensive coordinator, continues to double as the team's quarterback's coach. Patricia is a guy who, when you look at the Lions, they've been awfully productive on the offensive side of the ball. For them to take the next step in Detroit, they have to be better defensively. Enter Matt Patricia, a guy, an accomplished defensive coordinator under Bill Belichick, of course. So he's got a lot of familiarity with the New York Jets. With that being said, you take a look at what Patricia and the Lions did throughout the preseason, you're not going to show your best stuff. So he's going to be keeping a lot of those schemes and special blitzes and the packages in store for Sam Darnold. But Sam Darnold does have some weapons, and Jeremy Bates has some weapons at his disposal. We're thinking about guys like Robbie Anderson. Quincy Enunwa makes his debut in 2018 after missing the 2017 season. How about the running backs, Bilal Powell and Isaiah Crowell? They're going to be a dynamic tandem, I think, for the New York Jets. And Jeremy Bates is also going to incorporate the tight ends to this offense. We saw that throughout the summer with Sam Darnold. That's my matchup to watch. Bates versus Patricia. Bowles continually reiterated why he made the move to make Bates offensive coordinator. It's balance, commitment to the run. So the Jets are going to be committed to the run. They're going to want to have balance against Matt Patricia and company. But circle Ziggy Ansah and circle Darius Slay. Those are the two defenders you got to watch out for Monday night.
You were talking about Matt Patricia and this Lions defense. Well, my matchup to watch is this Lions offense against the Jets secondary, New Jack City. The big-ticket addition, Trumaine Johnson, signed with the Jets in the offseason in March. And Matt Stafford on the other side of the ball, Lions quarterback, he is not to be messed with because this guy was third in the league in passing last year. He's had over 4,000 yards passing since 2011. And their running game, since he's been there, has been non-existent for the most part. Their last 1,000-yard rusher was in 2013. Reggie Bush, there's a name for you. Before that, it was 2004. But keeping it with Stafford here is that this Jets secondary is going to have their hands full, not only with Stafford, who can sling it, but, mind you, Golden Tate and Marvin Jones, his two top weapons, both had over 1,000 yards last season. They complement each other very well. Tate, the shifty guy, he's had 90 catches in 4 straight seasons. Marvin Jones really stretches the field vertically. That's what Morris Claiborne told me earlier this week. And Marvin Jones averages 18 yards a catch. I mean, that's the best in the league over the past 2 seasons. And so let's talk about this now, is how important is it going to be to make sure that Matt Stafford has some pressure in his grill?
Well, you just brought up a number of good stats there, Greens. And the Lions last year, last in the National Football League in terms of rushing. But on the other side of the coin, Stafford did not turn the football over. He passed for nearly 4,500 yards, had 29 touchdown passes, and just 10 interceptions. I think in terms of Todd Bowles and Casey Rogers, you're going to see him dialing up some pressure packages to get in the face of Matt Stafford. But he's a guy who is going to try to get the ball down the field. He's going to take his chances because he believes in that arm strength. He's got a cannon of an arm, and he's a big guy. So he'll fight off pressure sometimes and try to air it out down the field. The Jets must keep the ball in front of them Monday night against Stafford and company. And they're going to have to disrupt them. I don't care about the sacks. You have to get him off his spot in order to be successful. A couple of habits that the Jets did throughout the preseason that I liked. They got off the field on third down, and they were very good in the red zone. Against the Lions, you have to have good red zone defense.
The other thing about when you're lining up against the Lions and their offense is that if you're a corner, you got to stay on your man. Morris Claiborne said, I don't care what Matt Stafford's doing. You got to stay on your receiver because the receivers are taught to convert their route. So if you're going deep, you come short. If you're short, you go deep. And with Stafford in particular, he's a mobile guy, but he's not someone that will tuck it and run upfield. He'll try to shake and bake and go lateral on you to extend the play. But he's, for his career best, I think is 200 yards rushing. So he's not someone that's really going to run downfield on you. So moving forward now, I was thinking about this. Is if you recall last year when the Jets played the Bills at MetLife, Tyrod, another very mobile quarterback, when we were watching this game, the pocket collapsed and Tyrod got flustered. I wonder if that will be in the game plan this week. But this has been a pass rushing unit that I know a lot of Jets fans have questions about. And there's a lot of new players down low in the trenches. Nathan Shepard comes to mind. Henry Anderson comes to mind. Then you talk about the outside linebackers, and we'll get into injury news a little bit later. But what are you expecting out of this group this Monday?
Well, you mentioned the Jets secondary. I do want to say that they are better equipped to handle a prolific passing offense like the Lions than they have been in the past. Trumaine Johnson enters. He's a big, monstrous corner who can play man on the outside. That gives you more options with Morris Claiborne. Then Buster Screen, he's your trusted nickel corner. Safety position is one that we're going to have to continue to monitor here throughout the weekend. Marcus May is dealing with a foot injury right now. He did not practice today. If he can't go Monday night, then that would either be Doug Middleton or J.J. Wilcox. Todd Bowles addressed that today. But Jamal Adams is a guy I know you're going to talk about later. He's poised for a big second year. The Jets secondary has more depth and more talent than it's had in the past. In terms of rushing the passer, I think you got to do it strength in numbers. Jordan Jenkins is typically your strong side linebacker. At the rush position, we'll have to see who lines up there. Josh Martin suffered a concussion against the New York Giants in the preseason. We'll have to monitor his progress throughout the week. The guy who's really looking forward to this game, a guy who Olivia Landis caught up with this week, is Brandon Coplin, a former Detroit Lion. The Jets like his speed, his athleticism. He could get a lot of run at Ford Field Monday night.
Copeland was someone that Casey Rogers said has played better than the Jets expected him to when they signed him. Let's take a look at what he had to say with Olivia Landis.
Inside the Jets locker room, I'm Olivia Landis, joined by linebacker Brandon Coplin. Brandon, now that the 53-man roster is set, how does the team move forward and look to the first game of the season?
Yeah, starts with coming into the office every single day, focusing up on film, studying game plan and all that type of stuff, and then obviously taking that and converting that to the field. So literally every single day, it's now that you're at that 53 point, but also that regular season point, we don't have to, fake or lie about it. We're focused on the Detroit Lions right now.
What are the main differences between the regular season preparation and the preseason prep?
Yeah, preseason, you're more so preparing your team, and you're working your offense, your defense, your plays, your schemes, and all that type of stuff. Preseason is to prepare for the regular season. Your regular season prep now it's 100% focused on your opponent. So week in and week out, it could be different, it could stay the same, but for the most part, you're doing things it's a chess match. You're trying to do things to defeat your opponent.
That first opponent will be a Monday night game against the Detroit Lions.
Yeah.
What are you looking forward to most about the start of the regular season?
I know obviously the preseason fans come out and they support us either way, but I love, especially that first regular season game, just the energy in the stadium, even whether you're the home team, the away team. I love just the energy that you'll receive from the fans. I've played in Detroit, so I know that first Monday night the fans will be going crazy, and I'm looking forward to going back and being a villain this time. But that's what I can't wait for is just that energy that'll be in the stadium, especially on Monday Night Football.
Welcome back to Practice Today, presented by SiriusXM. Ethan Greenberg and Eric Allen. Quickly, the injury report from today's practice: did not practice safety Marcus May, outside linebacker Josh Martin. Limited in practice Jermaine Kearse. That is a good sign for the Jets. Linebacker Avery Williamson and outside linebacker Jeremiah Atauchu.
Yeah, I wonder if the Jets can get Atauchu a couple reps against the Detroit Lions. He just signed this week, picked up off of waivers. He's a guy who's had some pass rushing success with the Chargers, formerly the San Diego Chargers, now the LA Chargers, 10 sacks in his career. Guy who was very productive at Georgia Tech, still young, kind of fell out of favor with the Chargers because they have Joey Bosa and Melvin Ingram, two pass rushing studs, but maybe he'll be part of the equation here as we move forward. He's working on a limited basis in practice, but if in terms of the secondary, the guy you're watching is 26, of course, Marcus May. And Todd Bowles said, hey, we're working both Doug Middleton, who ran with Jamal Adams throughout the spring with the first team defense, and J.J. Wilcox, another player who's got a lot of starting experience in the National Football League, and he was accountable for 2 takeaways in the Jets' final preseason game against the Philadelphia Eagles.
It's a good sign for the receiving corps because Jermaine Kearse did not practice yesterday. He's limited today. He's coming back from an abdomen injury. So we'll monitor the status of Kearse as the week goes on and, of course, Monday night. But keeping it on the receivers for a minute here, I know that you have your eyes on 2 guys and you think they're going to take off.
Yep, Robbie Anderson and Quincy Enunwa. Enunwa, like I mentioned before, this is his first regular season action since the end of the 2016 season. Carl Durrell said, he's the Jets wide receiver coach, he said Q is a guy who is at the point where he was at the end of that 2016 season, and he thinks he's even better. He's a guy who can line up outside the numbers or inside. He can do a lot of things with Quincy Enunwa. You know he's going to be excited to be on the field, and I think he is also an energy player for the New York Jets. He'll come into even more focus if Kurtz can't go, because you would figure that him and my next guy in focus here, Robbie Anderson, he would line up across from Robbie Anderson. In terms of Anderson, he's a better intermediate and short route runner than he has been in the past. He's becoming more of a complete package. Everybody's worried about maybe his lack of production in the preseason. Well, I'll tell you what, the Jets were working on a number of different things. Don't worry about Robbie Anderson. We see him out here on the practice field, and he is going to be fast on an indoor track. Carl Durrell said he can sneak up on you in a hurry because Anderson is a blazer, and he could threaten that Lions secondary early Monday night. Get your popcorn ready. 7:10 kickoff.
If you're worried about Robbie Anderson as a receiver, just because you didn't see him in the preseason, I have a stat that will cool your mind. In 2017, Robbie Anderson only caught 5 catches in the preseason, 85 yards, one of which went for 53. So if you take that out, that's 4 for 32. And this year in the preseason, he only had 3 for 23. So it's okay. Robbie will be good. The indoor track, I like that line.
Darrell really likes this wide receiver group because they each can bring a little bit something different to the table. And Anderson's the burner, but like I said, he's becoming more of a complete player. And Anunwa is explosive. He is a matchup nightmare because who are you going to put on him? You're going to put him on a defensive back on Anunwa? Well, he's going to outpower you. You're going to put a linebacker on you? He's going to outrun you. You're going to put a safety on him? Quincy Anunwa is a matchup nightmare. Can't wait to see him back, borrowing a phrase from our guy, Bart Scott.
Well, you said an energy player. My guy taking off is going to be Jamal Adams. And this guy, second year in the league. Last year he was 3rd on the team in tackles. And he was vocal since day one. And actually, Denard Wilson, his position coach, said he got more vocal. Now, how is that possible? And it's because Jamal Adams understands the playbook better. He says he's communicating what he sees as opposed to just being loud. And you know Jamal is loud, but in all seriousness, I think this guy is poised for a breakout year. I mean, everyone that came to training camp said, oh, wow, that guy pops off the field. You hear him, you see him, and you know he is itching to get on the field in regular season action. He's been tweeting about it. He's been Instagramming about it. He's been doing everything you can and getting ready for this Monday night game. He said that playing on Monday night, he dreamed about it as a kid. I mean, he said playing football in general, you dream about it, as I'm sure someone with Jamal Adams' background does. But this is someone that clearly brings the energy, and this team as a whole is going to need to bring the energy to better their road record from 2017. So what do the Jets need to do Monday night to get off on the right foot, especially on the road?
I think you got to play a disciplined ball game. You got to take care of penalties. You got to make sure the communication is good. You don't want any pre-snap penalties offensively. You got to play through the whistle, but not beyond the whistle. Don't get any late penalties, unnecessary roughness stuff. You have to take care of game situations. These are the things that the Jets have stressed throughout the summer, is taking care of third downs, red zone, winning the turnover battle. Those are the things you have to do, especially when you're on the road. And if you could take the crowd out of the game early, that would go a long way. Both teams are going to come out with plenty of energy. In Olivia's interview with the aforementioned Brandon Coplin, he said, I want to be a villain. And the Jets have to take that approach Monday night. You want to go out there and quiet that crowd.
The other thing for me would be a running game. The Jets averaged 71 yards on the road last season. You bring in Isaiah Crowell, and maybe you eat up some clock. You take the crowd out of it, not by a big punch play like a Robbie Anderson, but maybe you run the ball, you eat it up a little bit. And someone that Olivia spoke to earlier this week, a Detroit native, Lawrence Thomas, he actually went to Michigan State. This is his first year on the Jets as a full-time fullback, of course. He joined the team undrafted as a defensive lineman. Now he's a fullback. Now he's ready to hit some defenders in the mouth. Let's take a look at what he had to say.
Inside the Jets locker room, I'm Olivia Landis, joined by fullback Lawrence Thomas. Lawrence, you're the only guy on the team that is from Detroit. What is it going to be like to go back to your hometown and play in the stadium?
It's going to be exciting, just going back in front of my hometown, you know, my mom, my dad, my family, you know, all my high school friends, college friends. You know, it's going to be a big deal. So me going back to Detroit is going to be amazing.
Offensively, what are the challenges of facing a defense-minded coach like Matt Patricia?
We got to just come in here this week and just grind, you know, look in our playbook, look at film, and just really just get the ins and outs and everything. So when we do that, everything should fall in our hand.
Since establishing the core 53-man roster, how has this team worked to build chemistry effectively?
We just come here and grind every day. You know, every day, you know, we've been here since OTAs and just mini camp, training camp, and just getting the brotherhood together. So there's a very strong brotherhood in this locker room. So that's a great thing.
Being the only fullback on the team, how do you plan to make a large impact on the offense this year?
Just do what I'm asked, you know, just take the extra time out to watch film and just be on my playbook and just, you know, just do whatever I can for this team, you know, just, if that's fullback, special teams, whatever. I still can go back to defense, you know what I'm saying? So I'm just trying to just work on everything I possibly can.
Welcome back to practice today, presented by SiriusXM. Ethan Greenberg and Eric Allen. Now, this is the 2-minute drill. Sam Darnold making his first professional debut. The rookie quarterback, the number 3 overall pick. What's the plan for Sam?
Be consistent. Don't turn the football over. That's something he stressed throughout the offseason and the summer. He just has to let the game come to him. I'm not going to be surprised at all if Jeremy Bates dials a long pass up early in this ball game because you want to lighten the box against the Detroit Lions. But I also anticipate the Jets getting him on the move with some boots because he is so accurate on the run. But let the game come to you. As I said before many times, he is better when the lights are brighter. They're going to be bright Monday night. I anticipate Sam Darnold to come out with a good performance.
The Lions had the number 6 aerial attack in 2017. How do you expect the Jets defense to limit Matthew Stafford and company?
Second point here is get exotic. That means Todd Bowles and Casey Rogers are going to come up with some schemes at times to be disruptive against Matt Stafford. You want to make the Lions one-dimensional. They were the last-ranked rushing offense in the National Football League last season. So you make Stafford one-dimensional, and then you come at him with numbers. We've talked about Jamal Adams in the past. You can use him all over the field as an extra linebacker. Don't be surprised at times if Bowles and Casey Rogers are sending cornerbacks and safeties on blitzes.
Talking about the Jets offense and the team in general is something that we've seen in training camp is penalties. The Jets did push-ups for penalties. How much of a factor will that play Monday night in cutting down penalties?
Be disciplined and win the situational ball game. Be good in the red zone. Get off the field on 3rd down. Get yourself offensively in 3rd and manageable situations. Win in the turnover department. Play smart, heady football, and ride your energy players. On offense, that's number 81, Quincy Enunwa. He can give you a big step. And then on defense, that is number 33, Jamal Adams, ready to take the step in his 2nd season. Those are guys that you want to come out and be big factors against the Lions.
It's been over 8 months since the green and white have lined up in the regular season. That changes Monday night in Detroit. Again, kickoff 7:10 for Eric Allen. I'm Ethan Greenberg.